On the 26th of February 1922, D.H.Lawrence and the QB set off on the SS Osterley on a journey that would take them from Naples to Australia. The Osterley was the third of 5 12,000-ton steamers ordered by the Orient Steam Navigation Company, which branded itself as a pioneer of recreational global travel. At 163 metres in length and with a depth of 10.4 metres, there was space to cater for all tastes. This included a divan smoking lounge, a winter garden, and a well-stocked library. Of particular interest to Lawrence was the wireless telegraphy, which operated on the 300 and 600 metre wavelength. On the 7th of March, he wrote, "I like it so much. Everybody pleasant, and no showing off, and plenty of room." The Orient Line ships all had names starting with O, such as the Oronsay, Ortona, and Orvieto, and were distinguished by their broad shaded promenade decks that converted to a bowling pitch for cricket enthusiasts. The Osterley had a capacity of 1,310 passengers, which broke down into 280 in first class, 130 in second, and 900 in third class. Lawrence travelled second class and was happy to spend the day talking small talk with Australians on board. Until the early 1920s, all Orient Line ships were powered by coal-fired engines. Men below deck would be tasked with stoking the fires to keep the ship ticking over at 18 knots. Their working conditions as dark and as dangerous as those depicted by Lawrence in his mining novels. The Osterley was built in Clydebank, Scotland, and completed a maiden voyage in 1909. It would continue these voyages until it was scrapped in 1930, the year that Lawrence eventually succumbed to TB, the burning fire in his lungs. I wonder if Lawrence was aware that in 1915 the Osterley had been requisitioned as a troop ship by the Australian Imperial Force and was painted in dazzle camouflage. This consisted of a series of complex patterns of geometric shapes and contrasting colours. This innovative design made it difficult for a torpedo to estimate the range, speed and direction of its quarry. I imagine Lawrence would have admired this feature, confronting an aggressor head-on, refusing to hide away. Towards the end of World War I, the Osterley Silence was published. It's a curious read and includes references to Henry V, Homer and Diogenes, and claims, via its punning title, that just as an oyster is silent and admired, so too we must admire the man who has the sense to keep quiet. Lawrence was anything but silent. He spent his whole life barking at the world, but the world wouldn't listen. His refusal to be quiet and conform resulted in his books being banned or censored. He preferred to dazzle and confront the ugliness of modernity that led to war and the dehumanising effects of industrialisation. It was this that led him into the Osterley in 1922. The belief that a better life was possible, and where better to look than the opposite side of the globe at the end of the Orient Line.